Young Living essential oils. And my husband Jay and I have been married for 14 years, and we have 2 kids. Young Living has given us opportunities to travel all over the world with them. We call it a mobile classroom. 7 years ago, our family was looking for some all-natural immune supporting products, and my friend Mary Moore introduced me to Thieves. We were like desperate for immune help at the time, so Thieves did a number on us. We fell in love with it, and one single bottle of Thieves truly convinced us that Young Living has the best products that support the immune system. We fell in love immediately, and over time fell in love with the rest of the products. I would naturally talk about it with people, and just here and there, the same way you would talk about anything you were having a good experience with. And I ended up enrolling 4 people in those first 2 years. It was probably over a year into it that I enrolled anybody. But it wasn't building. We just loved all the oils. We would order every month. I got an ER right away the same night I signed up. And they pretty much worked for everything that we were using them for. So we eventually gravitated into the personal care and into the supplements too. Jay had a decent job, and we were homeschooling, and I was never able to get whatever curriculum I wanted because we didn't always have the money for it. And so I would just save for a long time to get something else that would suffice, and I would usually buy a used curriculum. And we were actually very wise with our money. From the get-go, we went to a really great church that preached and taught how to get out of debt. So at the time of all of this, we were pretty much out of debt. I mean, except for our mortgage. And I look back and I'm so thankful, because we could have been in a much worse place, but they were just really good at teaching just basic biblical principles of getting out and staying out of debt. So we had debt of our mortgage, right? So all that to say is we used the product for a year and a half, and I'm telling that story, it'll get somewhere in a minute, okay? But we used the product for a year and a half, and then I casually enrolled my friend Michelle Skocek, and she wanted to explore the business side, and I was not interested. She's actually currently now a diamond. She's actually in y'all's upline, and I was very hesitant and very skeptical. I really wanted nothing to do with the business. I just wanted to homeschool my kids and stay really involved in that community and just use the product. But she really egged me on for a long time. That was in August that she enrolled of 2010. And egged me on, just twisting my arm, come on, let's do this. And I just, no, for about 3 or 4 months. And in that 3 to 4 months, she was placing these really big orders, and I was making fast start on those. And I didn't know what that was or why, but I was making these big checks around $180 or so. And I also had another friend at the time, and their family was going through a health crisis. And our homeschool group pulled together and bought them a lot of items through my account. And back then, on the old comp plan, you actually made a percent back on your own order. So you could place these massive orders and get money back. You get paid to order. So between that and Michelle, I was making these big checks, and I truly had no idea why or how or what, but hey, I'll take it. So eventually I said yes to teaching a class for her, and I mean, I was making some pretty good money off of her, so the least I could do for her was to teach a class. But I was truly terrified. I didn't want to talk about this in front of a lot of people. I did teach small classes on I ran a food co-op, a local farms food co-op at the time, and I would host these little classes to educate people on grass-fed and pasture meats and raw milk and raw honey and all these things that, you know, food co-ops do to support their local farmers. But I was very passionate about it, and I let my passion for the real food and supporting local farms take over and get in front of my fears of talking to people. So that night at the class, when I said yes for Michelle, I had to do the same thing. I just had to let my passion take over for the Young Living products we'd been using for, gosh, I guess it had been about 2 years at that point, and just put fear on the back burner. And, you know, we can't grow if we're not stretched, right? That really stretched me. And it taught me that nothing great comes from comfort zones. So I sucked it up and I did it. I had no idea what I was going to say, but I had this essential oils book. I'm sure you guys all have it too. And I literally taught out of that book that night. And 8 of, I think that 10 or 11 people that came enrolled that night. Totally surprised me. So we then decided to team up and start hosting essential oil classes together. So I highly recommend teaming up with someone in your organization or a cross-line friend and doing it together, because 2 is always better than 1. Even if it's your husband, team up and do that with somebody, because it will, two just always work. There's more credibility in it, and there's more testimonials, and you know, there's 2 people can talk to about the products and whatnot. So 2 is better than 1. So a few months into it, I hit executive after Danette Goodyear taught a women's health class for us, and we had over 20 people enroll that night. I think it was actually closer to 40, but my paycheck started off paying for my oily habit each month for my ER orders, and it was a good thing too, because I wanted lots of oils that our paycheck couldn't afford. I did a lot of transfer buying, but then I wanted more, you know. So 8 months after hitting executive, I hit silver, and my check continued to grow. But I sat at silver for 13 months, and this is on the old comp plan. And during that time, we used that extra money to go towards our house, paying off our house. And we had already committed, again, for a few years to paying that off. So I bought a car when I hit silver. I had a pretty decent check. It was I don't know, $1,500, $2,000, something like that at silver. And I wanted a new car. I needed a new car desperately. And so I got what I wanted. I was really wanting a Nissan Armada, and we went and got it, and we paid it off in a year, and we just paid it with my silver check. So all that to say, this fateful day came exactly, 3 years ago this summer, and Jay was laid off from a job he loved. But it also happened to be the exact same month that I had paid off my very last car payment, and we were back to just paying on our mortgage. So it was, I don't know, totally a God thing that he just totally took care of us. It was the same month. So, I think I said that with the Nissan Armada. Anyway, his whole department was wiped out in a matter of hours, and with 6 weeks severance, that was it. And he made good money at this point in his career. He was making 6 figures. So, you know, people bash network marketing and they're like, it's not stable, you can't guarantee anything. Well, you know what? You can't guarantee anything in corporate America. I mean, nothing is 100% secure and stable, and that could have happened to anybody. We hear of layoffs all the time. So this was a job we thought he would retire from, with great benefits and a pension plan and like the whole to-do, you know? So when he was laid off, I was actually ranked as gold. And I remember he called me, and I was at the mall shopping for comfortable shoes for convention that year, back in, what was that, 2013? And I was so upset for him because he truly loved his job, just really loved his job as a creative director at Boy Scouts of America. their headquarters is here in the Dallas area. Anyway, I didn't freak out on the phone or anything because I was making good money with Young Living as a Gold. I think my check was around $5,000 or $6,000 a month at that time. And that was, yeah, back then, that was more than enough for the four of us, or a family of four, to live on. And I really kicked things into high gear though that month. And I ended up hitting platinum the next month in July of 2013. And then in August, we went to Silver Retreat. And I had actually deferred it the year before because I was terrified of flying on an airplane, like terrified. But my chiropractor here does emotional release, and he got me ready for the flight the next year, and so we ended up going. And we were very privileged to stay at the farm in St. Mary's. Back then, that's where Silver Retreat was. 98% of everyone there stayed about an hour away at the resort in Coeur d'Alene. But we lived on the farm, that St. Mary's farm, for about 6 days because we went early to work on the farm. And we got to sit in the floral water hot tubs like every day for 6 days. But we would get up early every morning at like 4:30. We'd get out in the fields to plant lavender. And, you know, that's when the sun comes up like way up north from here, like 4 a.m. in Idaho. Anyway, Mary and Gary were there all week with us, and we had a lot of one-on-one time getting to know them. And Gary had convinced my husband really to not go back to work and to just stay at home with me and figure out how we could do Young Living together, because Gary told Jay that this always works the best when couples do it together. Like that, those were his words. So Jay, you know, believed him. And he got home, and he, you know, at this point he'd been unemployed for 3 months. And he went on one job interview, and he knew immediately that he didn't want to go back to corporate America. So he left that interview and was like, done. So God took care of us. We were good. Again, we hit platinum pretty soon after that. We kept hustling until we hit diamond, which was that following winter in January, and then crown, and then royal. It was 2 years ago that we hit royal, and I feel like now we're working for legacy. And you know, our why has changed over the years. With every rank, I feel like our why was different. I mean, it naturally does that for everybody. But it really landed now. The big scheme of it all is our why is to leave a legacy. And I think about it daily, like especially with my kids. We want to make a huge difference in the world by leaving a legacy of goodness, of leadership, of excellence, of purpose. Like that is our huge, big, burning why, you know, just, I don't know. That's our why. I have all these other smaller whys. I'm really passionate about the sex trade, you know, the human trafficking, and pulling and rescuing women out of that, and girls out of that, and the rehabilitation that happens with that, and water wells. I'm really passionate about that. There's so many things, but our big footprint we want to leave is just to leave a legacy in our kids and in the world. We want to leave that footprint. So I just feel like we're done working for money right now. Like we're truly building for legacy, and like I said, that's our why. And people will often say like, well, you're a Royal Crown Diamond, you know, can't you just like go sit on the beach for the rest of your life? Well, yeah, we could. I mean, we certainly could. And we do a lot more traveling than we ever have before, and we get to work the hours we want to, but all of us get to do that. But overall, we're not stopping, you know, we're really wanting to build a legacy. And that means that I am committed to continue to build my character, to develop my attitude more, to help my leaders hit their goals, and help bring as many of them to diamond with me as possible. And helping a whole lot more people get essential oils into their home in the grand scheme of that all, of course, for their own health and of course for their own wealth. So as important as it is to know why you're doing this at the rank of star, I can truly say it's equally important at the top of the comp plan at Royal Crown Diamond to have a reason to stay engaged and to continue to support your team. Because literally you could just go disappear, you know, and be set for a very long time. But, or, you know, collect a check for the rest of your life. But that's not in us. Like, that's not me. That's not Jay. We can't do that. We won't do that. I really want to duplicate all the keys to success, because this isn't about me. It's just not about me. I don't, it's just not, you know, it's just, we have this bigger purpose, and that's what Young Living's about. It's about wellness and purpose and abundance for anyone who wants to take part in it. And we are going to continue to build and lead our organization. One thing I have learned along the way is that we must lead in integrity and humility, or we can't effectively serve our teams and have great relationships. We can't make life friends in this if we don't do that. But, you know, overall, we're here to serve a higher purpose, and it's not ourselves. So, I guess you could say my relationship with my why is about how many people we can have a positive impact on in their day-to-day life. So that's my story in a nutshell.
I love your story.
Thanks.
So the first thing is you actually spoke about this at convention, your 3 top steps to success. So can you, I know it's like an hour-long presentation you did, but can you summarize it?
Yeah.
In, you know, 5-10 minutes
Yeah,
of your 3?
I'll shorten it.
You didn't get to hear it at convention?
Yeah. So we did a presentation at convention on our 3 steps to success, and I will shorten it for you guys. So I guess I want to help you guys with these 3 things, is just to create both a roadmap and a mindset and business building. So I'm going to share 3 steps to success, and they don't take a ton of money. They don't take like secret ninja skills. They just really, they just take time and consistency and effort and a commitment to not quit. We called them the 3 A's for all you greens out there. They're the 3 A's. It's attitude, action, and affirmation. Well, really, affirmation is really like relationships. So the number 1 step to success we went over was attitude. And in our house, truly, probably in y'all's houses too, hardly a day goes by without our house with the word attitude in it. Entering the conversation somehow. It's either used as a compliment or it's used as a complaint. We can always sense each other's attitudes. We can see it. I think it's more honest than, or even more consistent than our own words. So when our attitude is positive, it's conducive to growth. And, or when it's negative, it's not. And it brings everybody down around you. So really, your attitude can be your best friend, or it can be your worst enemy. And I think as you look across all of the diamonds in Young Living, you're gonna see a lot of different personalities, a lot of different backgrounds, completely different styles of leadership, yet you have all these people that are highly successful, and it's because of their attitude. I mean, that's really the one thing they have in common, is their attitude. Of course, everyone's committed and dedicated to their work as well, but I think an attitude is really what gets you where you're going. A bad attitude takes far less encouragement. I don't need a lot of encouragement to spiral into a bad attitude sometimes when there's a lot going on that's not, you know, peachy keen. So that needs practice, and negativity can creep in. It happens to all of us. You're not immune. Nobody's immune. We can get distracted and we can make excuses, but really there comes a point that your reasons and your why become bigger than your excuses, and it can change your attitude. You know, we all have ups and downs in this business. It's just like any other business in the world. There are ups and there's down. There's up months and there's low months. And we've all had days we want to quit. Have you guys had days that you want to quit? I just want to I want to see it in the comments. Just say me in the comments if you've had a day that you just want to quit. You know what, you guys? It's okay when those days come. You just have to work through them with a good attitude. And even if your attitude is just horribly sour or negative for the day, then just quit for the day. Close your computer and just go do life, with your family and the things you're passionate about, your hobbies and whatnot. But open your computer back up the next day with a fresh new attitude, okay? We all need that time to cool off or regroup or whatever. If your attitude is strongly positive enough, it becomes contagious. You guys see that to be true? Like when you're, have these great things, great ideas or all this excitement or just a really positive attitude to show your team somehow, it duplicates. It's upbeat, it's optimistic, and it duplicates. So, yeah. So we need to be willing to be coachable, willing to learn, willing to invest in ourselves. I mean, just you guys being on this call tonight, I mean, that shows me that you're willing to learn and you're coachable, you're teachable. Type some things in the comments, you guys, that when you have a positive frame of mind, what does that help you do? I want to see some of the comments on that. How does it help you when you have a positive mindset, a positive attitude? More energy? Yes, definitely more energy. Connect with great people, want to call everyone, get more accomplished, less strained, friendly to strangers, attack positive results. What about expecting success and not expecting failure? You just expect success. Or I feel inspired with a positive attitude, and it gives me the strength to not give up when I do encounter obstacles, because Lord knows we have obstacles because we're in the people business, You have to deal with a lot of people, and not everybody has the same, we're not all on the same path together. So it makes me look at failure and problems as a blessing in disguise a lot of times. I always learn a lot from them. I believe in myself more and in my abilities. I guess that would enable me to show more self-esteem and confidence. Those are important. What about looking for solutions instead of dwelling on the problems? And just recognizing opportunities. Those have always been things that I've learned with a positive attitude, what that can bring. So a commit to never quit attitude is what I really, really look for in people that I work with one-on-one a lot, that they are totally committed. And this is another common thread that joins all the diamonds, and it's that they adopt this attitude that they're never going to quit, no matter what it takes, no matter what obstacles we encounter along the way. This really is a major key for success. If you expect to reach the top of Young Living's comp plan, you must be committed to your business, and you must treat it like the $1 million empire that it has the potential to be. If you focus on learning and making it your goal to do everything you can to succeed, you're going to get there. I don't know at what point along my journey, I want to say I was probably a gold, and I knew that I would hit royal. I just knew, deep in my knower, as my mom says, deep in your knower. I knew that it was going to happen, that I would do everything I could do to make that happen, that it would succeed. And it's really cool that, are you guys John Maxwell fans at all? Anyone? I love him. And he says that everything in life that is worthwhile is uphill. And there's nothing special or precious, or there's nothing worthwhile that we don't have to intentionally daily work at. I mean, daily. And that could be your friendships, it could be your marriage, your career, these things stay really great because we work at them. And the only way to go uphill is to be intentional and willful. And it's not just once, but every day, because you don't accidentally go uphill. You can't coast uphill, you know? I mean, that's impossible. Work is required. You have to work at this. And it's just like your marriage and your friendships. You have to work at those things to have a good marriage, you know? It's a lot of work. So I joke about this all the time, but it's true. I have yet to meet someone in network marketing who is like wildly successful, and then they stand up and say, well, that was easy. Nobody, no, never. Don't tell people that this is easy and it's gonna fall in your lap. It doesn't. It does require work. And I think behind every success story is a lot of hard work, a lot of determination, a lot of effort, patience with time, a lot of patience with people. I mean, it is uphill, but it's uphill with a lot of willful intention, you know? So I think we can take our talents, our passion, our, you know, good character, and go make a difference in people's lives, and you can create really incredible wealth with it, but you have to work at it. Again, it doesn't like fall out of the sky, you know? And I truly believe that your earning power is directly related to your commitment. It really, really is. Okay, my number 2 step was action on the steps to success. So it was action. I kind of just covered this a little bit, but how many times have you seen a person in Young Living or really, I guess any company, it could be a corporate job, but they come out of nowhere and they experience this like incredible success. And the answer to that is, it seems like it happens all the time. But the real answer is never. It never happens, because what you don't see are the hours this person has put into their business, working it in the field. It is so common in network marketing to celebrate the results, but we don't often recognize the work put into it. And it takes work, you know, as does anything worth doing, as does anything that's going to bring you a 6-figure or 7-figure income, you know? And residual or passive income from Young Living can be a reality when we take action. And like, how many times, and I tell my kids this all the time, how often do you pray for something and expect God to just come drop it in your lap? Or have you ever asked or prayed for, you know, God for something, ever asked God for something yet you're not even willing to move your feet for it? So we're going to talk about action, just a couple things. But we need to move our feet too and work towards making it happen. Intentional living doesn't allow us to procrastinate. We have to be intentional. We each have dreams. We each have aspirations and hopes. And they're all uphill because they require work. They require action. And like that quote I was saying about John Maxwell earlier, that about, you know, uphill, you got to work, everything's uphill, that's worthwhile. He says something else that's really good, and it's people have uphill hopes, but downhill habits. And like, I want to like plaster that in my office. I keep thinking about doing that, but I haven't done it yet. But nobody ever goes uphill with downhill habits. Nobody. I mean, if you think of it this way, it's like uphill is good actions, and downhill is your good intentions. You know, and you don't really get anywhere with good intentions all the time. So he has this thing about intentional living, a great book called Intentional Living, and it's all about taking good intentions and turning them into good actions. Highly recommend that book. I went to a conference with him back in March, and Monique McLean spoke at it, and she invited a bunch of us to go and hear her speak, and we went. And something that John Maxwell said that day, and he says it all the time actually, is hope is not a strategy for success. It's just not. Hope is great for many things, but it's not a strategy for success. And he was right. And it goes back to, we have to be intentional and make the efforts that put us close to our goal. So here's a couple action steps for you guys. The first action step would be to talk to people. The second is to talk to people. And the third is to talk to people. Don't get them out of order. No, that's tough. But I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make is talking to the same 10 people over and over again. And, you know, where's that going to get you? We need to get practice talking to people just by calling a few people a day. And, you know, maybe not necessarily just to tell them about your business, but to just engage with them, or somebody that you meet somewhere, but engage with them and ask them how they've been, what they're doing for fun. If they ask about your business, then great. I mean, tell them all about it, but making that connection with people and talking with them is gonna start those relationships and build them. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but it's just part of one of my action things. But listen, you know, listen more than we talk. I've come a long way in my listening in the last 6 years. Yeah. But listen more than we talk, because you'll probably hear a need somewhere that Young Living is going to fit in perfectly, whether it's oils or a paycheck. If it's not, like if you don't hear that, it's okay. Just keep building the relationship. And at the right time, the opportunity will present itself, I think. Or even asking people to attend a class or a one-on-one with you. You know, just talking to people is probably my number one action step. And there's some uncomfortable moments, you know. There's a lot of introverted people out there, and I'm super introverted, crazy introverted. I'm not shy, but I'm very introverted. And I've really had to step outside of my comfort zone a lot to get to know people, and there's a lot of uncomfortable moments of people stretching you, and times you don't want to talk to the waiter at your table or the lady at the post office. But guess what, you guys? Like 20 seconds of like insane courage, for like 20 seconds. Dave and Troy say this all the time at ULA. If you just step out of your comfort zone for 20 seconds, and what would happen in that, you know, 60 seconds of courage or 20 seconds of courage, you could totally change somebody's life because you just mustered up enough courage to speak to them. Or maybe you spoke to the hostess at the restaurant, and what you don't know is that maybe she has 3 jobs and has 3 kids to feed because she's a single mom. And you have nothing to lose, like nothing to lose. Or what if you found, you know, 60 seconds of courage and talking to maybe like the plumber that unclogged your drain, and maybe you find out later that his wife is terminally ill and he's not sure how his family's going to survive if she's not there to care for their kids. I mean, you could offer, you have a gift, you know, you have a gift. Or what if you found out that, or what if you know, stepped outside of your comfort zone for 20 seconds and spoke to like an older lady at I don't know, the nail salon, and who just wants to be with her family in California or Maine or wherever they are, and just to be near her grandchildren, but maybe she doesn't have the money to travel. Like, you guys, we have the power to change their lives, and all we have to do is talk to them. You know, you have a great gift. We get to offer so much hope. Obviously, I know hope's not a strategy for success, but we get to offer so much hope and opportunity to the people who will seize it. So, y'all, stop apologizing for it. Like, I see so many people saying they're sorry for sharing something that is so good. You know, if you want to increase your paycheck, it's like simple math. Get out there and talk to people. Some people will say no. In fact, a lot of people will probably say no. But every no, really, it builds your skills, and it's one step closer to the next yes. My next action step is to attend events. These are probably the best place to learn our culture, our products, the basic building principles to grow your income. Convention is where it's at, period. It's where many of you probably chose to spend your money and time last June. It is the single most important thing you can do for your business. If you cannot afford any other event, convention is the one to save your money for, hands down. I mean, no words can express to you the incredible value of this annual event that Young Living hosts. It literally takes years off your learning curve, both in product knowledge and in business building. My next action step is hosting classes. I'm sure you guys host classes, right? Hopefully. But hosting your own classes, you know, intro classes, maybe continuing education classes, maybe you want to cover emotional issues or brain health or digestive health or something. But hosting those classes for your team, and also company events like convention, ignite, accelerate, empower. Go to a harvest. Oh my gosh, for the love, please go to a harvest if you ever get the opportunity. Beauty school. These are like paramount events to keep us learning about this profession. I don't know it all. I mean, I keep going to learn more. Third-party events, learning from industry experts are in our profession is really a great way to build the knowledge to build a multi-million-dollar business. Truly, if you haven't spent money on the development of you, that needs to be the next thing you do, is to do that. Your income will probably go up. This is money to develop you. So you set the example for your team and be there. There's tons of third-party things out there. There's like, there's Mastermind, there's GoPro Recruiting Mastery, there's Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing. There's so many third-party trainings that teach how to build a network marketing business. And they're all powerful and they're all great. So all in all, make sure you're doing the actions that you have to do, the behavior that you want duplicated. So, you know, get going on that. Our third step is affirmation, and that is really affirming relationships. So in the case of network marketing, I think it's of critical importance to build relationships and trust with our team members. We need to be knowledgeable about our business as well as our products, and we need to provide timely and thorough support to our team members. You know, these are actions that really, I think, cement the relationship between you and your leaders, and they build a lot of trust and they build a lot of confidence among your team. I think the relationships built at convention last a very long time, or maybe when you get to a rank retreat or something like that, but those relationships, that face-to-face time, that is huge. And when it's experienced together, I don't know, there's just like this bond that happens. I have so many cross-line friends from my first silver retreat and gold retreat. I actually never took my platinum retreat, but I am going to this year. I'm going back to Ecuador in November, so hopefully I'll see some of y'all there. But those are really great places to truly invest in relationships with people, both in and off your team. I think it expands your knowledge and expands their knowledge too. This can also happen at your local meetings. What about those you build an online relationship with and you get to meet at these places, maybe at convention? But relationships are really the key to loyalty, to commitment, and honestly, I think they're the key to people not quitting, because times get rough and they get hard, and we all have gone through wanting to quit, and it's usually the relationships that snap us out of it, you know, and just give us permission to kind of like quit for the day, like I said earlier, and be an encouragement to keep going. I think, I mentioned rank retreats, you know, great relationship building opportunities there, silver, gold, platinum, diamond. Y'all don't ever turn one of these retreats down. I mean, defer if you have to the next year, but you earned that trip and you so deserve to go. So don't ever think that it's not worth going. I promise you it is. You'll come home with much more inside of you than when you got there. Your relationship with your why. This is something I don't think a lot of people think about, but it's really important. Just asking yourself, what kind of relationship do you have with your why? Is it an acquaintance? Like, oh, that'd be nice if, you know, that happens, meaning your why. Like, it'd be nice if my why happens. Or are you like so committed to your relationship with your why that you are really digging in deep? Whether your why is, maybe it's your family, or to be debt-free, or to help people in need, or maybe you want to start a nonprofit, or you want to, I don't know what your why could be. Maybe it's to stay at home with your kids full time and Maybe it's to send your kids to private school. I don't know. But if you're not fully married, like married to your why and committed to it, and if the relationship isn't strong enough, you're not going to stay committed to it. You'll quit. And remember, people don't fail at this business. They quit. And so if you have like, I don't know, like a vision board or something that makes you, reminds you of why you're doing what you're doing, and you can see that all the time. I don't know, just something that has your why in front of you that reminds you of it, and that your why, you're like, and are you acquainted with it, or are you married to it? And if you're not married to it, what do you need to do to get married to it, you know? So overall, you guys, you know, network marketing isn't learned. It's something that has to be discovered, and I think the only way you can discover it is by doing it. So in closing, just know that one person can make a decision, and it can impact 1 million people around the world. We have such a gift in what we do. So I truly hope that you guys believe you deserve success from this, because your courage is going to be the reason why a lot of lives are going to be changed, because you stepped out of your comfort zone and you did this, and you stayed committed to it. So stay committed to yourself, honor yourself with your work, bring it from, you know, deep down in your heart, and it's going to reflect in your attitude. It'll reflect in your actions, and in affirming in your relationship. So I think that's all I have. You guys are awesome. You guys were born to win. I truly believe that. I believe in you. I know you guys can rock this. Stephanie and I and Lindsay and I, we're all we're keeping your diamond seats warm for you guys, okay? So, thank you guys for joining me tonight. Here's to your success, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, April. Stephanie's saying her computer's frozen, so she can't talk.
Okay. Oh. That's okay. That's okay.
Asked if you have time for one question. I don't know what it is.